My name is Krystal Williams. I am an attorney and senior business person, and what I'd like to be known for is being a healer of my community. I grew up in a Habitat for Humanity community in North Carolina, and there was a lot of childhood trauma. I think a lot of Black individuals, particularly those from lower socioeconomic classes, experience a lot of trauma just attendant to what that means to be a Black person with limited resources in society. And I've had the benefit of, through education, changing my station in life. And so that's one of the ways that I've been on this healing journey for myself. And what I have found is, as I've been healing, I've been seeing more of the brokenness of the system, particularly as someone who I have my MBA. I worked in a Fortune 100 company for a number of years, and I have my law degree. And we are a nation of laws, and we are a capitalist nation. And so seeing how our economic system and our judicial system treats people, particularly people who look like me, who come from backgrounds similar to mine, I see all of this brokenness, and I want to essentially stand in the gap. So for me, healing means standing in the gap between the powerful systems that exist and undergird our country and the communities that don't have the resources to navigate those systems well. Two words that come to mind when I think of Maine are beautiful and scrappy. Maine is just naturally a beautiful, beautiful state. I love being here. I love the smell of Maine air in the fall. And one of the things that attracted me to Maine was also this can-do spirit, I'm just gonna roll up my sleeves and figure it out. I love that. When I think of Mainers who inspire me, there are two that come to mind, and they are both in the legal profession. The first is Macon Bowling Allen. He lived in Maine in the 1800s. He was the first attorney in the United States, first Black attorney in the United States, and he was licensed here in Maine. So that, as a Black woman in the legal profession in Maine, I am constantly inspired by his legacy, even though it was a long time ago. And a more recent example is Dean Softly of the Maine Law School, former Chief Justice Softly of the Law Court. I love that after years of sitting on the bench as a jurist in the state of Maine, she completely pivoted and leveraged her immense knowledge of Maine's legal system to now lead Maine Law, which is the only law school in the state. It's a public institution. So we are just so blessed to have her leadership and knowledge training up the next generation of lawyers. I love Central Provisions. Evo is amazing. Those two are spots that I go to quite frequently. I also really love Ogasuya, which is started by Rose Barbosa, who also started Black Owned Maine. And so Ogasuya often has a pop-up at the zoo in Bayside, and it's Nigerian barbecue. It is so ridiculously good, I cannot even tell you. My favorite outdoor spot in Maine, I would be remiss if I did not say Katahdin. So I came to Maine because I thru-hiked the Appalachian Trail and I fell in love with the state. And Katahdin is like the pinnacle of experience for any thru-hiker. So many female leaders that I know, like me, are involved in 10 different projects. They're running from meeting to meeting, and there's often not the sense that we can pause our involvement in the community to really take care of ourselves. And so having that sisterhood of other female leaders to say, hey, no, it's okay for you to not show up at this event. In fact, I would love to know that you didn't show up at this event so that you were spending time replenishing your own energy stores. I live and work at the intersection of the economic system and the judicial system. So I actually have projects going on to better understand both and how specifically we can make both more inclusive for and to BIPOC communities. So on the economic side, I'm working with the University of Southern Maine to do a statewide BIPOC small business needs assessment. We have a very rich entrepreneurial ecosystem here in Maine, but it doesn't serve everyone equally. And so the goal of this research is to really understand what the needs are and how we can begin to close the gap between the resources that exist broadly and what resources are available from a more culturally responsive perspective. We will be kicking off formally in about 4 weeks, so early October, early to mid-October. And then next year, we'll have a large symposium where we'll be inviting economic leaders of the state to have a discussion about our findings. So stay tuned. And then the other piece that I'm working on, the other project I'm working on, which is really focused on Maine's legal system, is a justice corps. I am so excited about this project. It will fall under the umbrella of an AmeriCorps program. And the goal is really to train individuals who are not lawyers, give them legal education, and empower them to help community members fill out forms and be more comfortable in courthouses. The goal is to have community legal navigators who can support community members on civil legal matters.